you guys are very busy there. Okay. All right, beloved souls. Great to see you, Veronica, Elizabeth, Domi, Allison, Janice, Steve, Ruta, Ita, and then iPhone. I'm not sure who is the beautiful
Daria.
Daria. So great to see you. Yes. All right. Elizabeth, you were wonderful at the Portal Essential Conference. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us. What a wonderful gift to have you here. From Massachusetts, excellent. And hello from France. Domi, you're in France. That's amazing. Let me go over here to the live chat. Mute that. Darina Yarova, so great to see you. Wonderful to see you. And then we have Victoria is also joining us now. Great to see you, Victoria. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in capital letters. Love, 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 welcome, peace and greetings. So lucky you just popped up. Yes, so great to have you join us. Yeah, so thank you guys for allowing this reschedule for today. I'm in the process of moving and it's been extremely hectic. So it's been difficult to do it on the weekend, but I'm really glad that we were able to connect today. And I do have a lot that I want to talk to you about. Yesterday, I had an awesome class and we discussed ancestral healing through the cellular regeneration and DNA activation. And so that class was really powerful in going really deep into understanding the building blocks of how information is stored at the cellular level in our DNA and how it expresses itself through trauma or repetitive patterns ancestrally, intergenerationally. So we were talking a lot about how to reintegrate that and how to work with that information. It was a really powerful class, and I will be hosting these very small classes once or twice a month with these like intense topics that we're going to deep dive into, and sometimes talk about things that I can't really talk about publicly here on YouTube. So they will be private groups. You guys are welcome to join. And I really want to do that because we deep dive and kind of have a more intimate setting in which we can also do sample healings for people that want to access some of that deeper information. We are learning how to go into the deep programming process together. Okay, that's essentially what these groups are for. As you know, my main goal is to allow you guys to have the tools to enable you to come into your 0 point in your highest healing. And so whatever it takes to help support that process, because it's a process that I'm extremely familiar with, and every part of it has its little key elements. And so all of you, when you connect with me, you tell me about these parts that you're at, and it helps me understand where I need to support you. So, all right. Marie-Lena, thank you so much for being here. Patricia, MJFK, so great to see you. Wonderful to see you here. All right, so let's get started, my love. So as a complement to yesterday's conversation about cellular regeneration and DNA, one of the things that was the outcome, and something that I'm starting actually today, is a 15-day challenge in which we are going to talk about how to embody the depths of the laws of the universe. Okay, we're going to learn about how to integrate these laws of the universe into our everyday life, how to apply them into our healing process, and essentially how to utilize them in the way that we navigate, because a lot of these aspects of the laws of the universe create deeper laws and a deeper structure in how we exist as a human. And it's my belief and what I learned through my process that if I were to have understood those laws of the universe earlier on, I think that it would have allowed me to understand and gently move through some of the deep shadows and awakening processes in a way that was a little more compassionate and slightly easier. Of course, every human has to go through that transmutation process from the lower into the higher. So every difficulty, every challenge that we experience is essential in the forming of your soul in this human life. That's why we incarnate into these lives with the challenges that we have. Okay, so we need to utilize these challenges for that transduction, as we alchemize our life force from low sense of separation back into unity. Okay, so before we get started, I want to share with you, let's go over really briefly the laws of the universe, so that we can understand what we're going to be tackling in this series. There will be a video every day to discuss these topics, and I will deep dive into each one of them in the process of integration and how we can actually utilize them. Okay, so let's get started. And I also want to mention that these are laws that I'm putting these in a specific order. I will create a website page so that you can access the challenge. You can subscribe to it, and you can also access all the slides that I will be covering on the website to follow along. There will also be extra exercises that you can do that I'm writing out there for you, and the recording of each one of our videos on this daily challenges will also be there. This is a free challenge. There's no need to pay for it. But you're welcome to deep dive as deep. And I want you guys to email me any questions that come up during this process. Okay, so let's talk about the laws of this universe. And the reason why I say this dimension, some of these laws pertain to this dimension primarily, and some of these are universal laws, and I will dive into them as we move along. The reason why some of these only pertain to this dimension is because in this current timeline, we are experiencing the law of three. We've incarnated into the physical plane, in which is the fourth dimensional layer. And the law of three is essentially learning what creation is through the plethora of experiences of how to create and manifest. Okay. So let's talk about the first one, the law of resonance. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the mechanics of vibrational frequency. What does it mean to embody a certain frequency? What does it mean to change it? What does it mean to be in resonance? And how do the laws of attraction essentially work in these vibrational magnetic exchanges? Okay, we're going to be talking about the exchange of life force with family members, the contractual agreements that come up as a result of these resonance mechanics. And we're also going to be talking about the resonance and vibrational frequency of ourselves with our children. For those of you that have children, the connection between that, how that works, very specific dynamic to that. Then we're going to be talking about free will, and this is a really important one. This is one that is essential for those of you that are training intuition, that are learning how to embody your highest state of intuition in order to tap in to information. How do you tune into information? What are the ethics of the process of intuitive abilities? And then how do you expansively surrender and embody that intuitive state at all times? Without depleting your life force, because this is really the most difficult thing, is that humans come into a state of intuition, and because we are designed to be sponges of information, we just begin to take everything on, and we don't understand how to create healthy boundaries energetically for us. So how do we translate that information in a way? And free will, essentially on the highest level, is talking about navigation. Okay, so first of all, your life incarnating into this planet, why you incarnate, what part, and what are the laws that allow you to access, what are the laws that allow you to transcend your challenges in this lifetime? All of the contractual agreements that you've come into, you've incarnated into this life, at what point does your free will begin to take place? Okay, there are certain laws to that. Because we are deeply interconnected in this universe, free will is something that we need to understand. We need to understand that we are a part of an organism and that we only really have free will when we really understand how to utilize that, okay? How to apply that free will. And I'll dive deep into that. We're also going to talk about the mechanics of unconditional love, okay? What does it mean to embody unconditional love? What does that look like? How is it expressed? How is it seen in the body? What does your body look like when you embody unconditional love? I'm going to show you the energetic expression of that. It's important that you understand that, because in your meditation, you want to guide yourself into the embodiment of that state. And it's something that is practiced, okay? So I want you guys to just notice and practice that. We're also going to talk about the mechanics of creation. What is creation? Manifestation. How do we manifest into the physical? How do we change challenging situations and transmute them into co-creation in alignment with what we need? When you understand these laws, it's deeply, deeply interconnected with the law of accident as well. And I'm going to put these in the order in which they develop and they express themselves in our lives for you. But the law of accident is essentially anytime that we go into dormant state, anytime we go out of consciousness, we are back into hypnosis, we essentially create experiences that shake us out of that state of unconsciousness, okay? So these events can be very traumatic. These events can be something simple as cutting your finger with a paper, okay? The thing is that we need to understand that when you are truly in the present moment, everything around you is a reflection of yourself. It is an extension of yourself. And it requires a level of awareness and observation, because your surroundings are communicating with you. They're speaking with you. They are telling you something. And the problem is that we are in such a dormant state that we completely disconnect from that communication. So to be very, very aware allows you to become in tune with this information so that you can utilize that. Those of you that feel disconnected, lost, not protected, feel that you can't connect with guides, well, the universe is speaking to you through everything. Numbers, symbolisms, animals, things that you smell, things that you feel in your physical body, pain, okay? So we're going to learn about that law of accident. Essentially, the human that comes into integration, the human that comes into the 0 point, will not continue to experience these severe accidents to come into a conscious awakening. It will be a symbiotic relationship with the universe of communion and conscious communication and co-creation. And that is what we are trying to attain at this time. That's exactly what we want to essentially do. So going to the next is the law of cause and effect, which is essentially talking about how does this karmic cycle of repetitive patterns manifest into the physical bodies. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that, because oftentimes people find themselves in triggering experiences, and a lot of people are awoken by this law of accident, and they don't understand how they ended up in such an extreme situation. Well, the universe was already speaking like weeks before this event. Okay, so we need to understand, how did we create this event? What is our contribution to the co-creation of this experience? And there are higher laws to some of these experiences, because some of these things kind of go along with a kind of time. So let me backtrack. When we're born, it's almost as if our entire organism is a snapshot of the universe at the time of our birth, which allows certain vibrational frequencies to influence the kind of life that we're going to have. And before we are even born, through resonance, we choose the families that we're going to be born into with specific experiences that we are meant to have in order to help our soul transcend. Okay? And so essentially, the law of cause and effect, we want to understand what is the root patterns that our soul is here to experience. If you understand that, everything else that happens as a result, even tiny little events, it will make sense. And the way that you perceive them will change, and you'll be able to alchemize them quicker, okay? Because you're going to understand what your core experience is, and you'll notice that interconnectedness to that. We're going to talk about the concept of no coincidences, nothing is random. How does that manifest? How do we tune into that? How do we participate in that? We're going to talk about the interdependence, the organism of this bioelectrical system in connection with the universe. We're going to talk about, excuse me, the structure of that, but also the exchange of that, okay? In the micro, in our immediate lives, and also in our greater expression with the entire universe. We're going to talk about remembering and forgetting, the cycles of how do we go into that dormant state? How do we wake up from that dormant state? What does that look like? Your body has an architectural expression every time that it wakes up and every time it falls asleep. So I'm going to show you the differences between that so you can allow yourself to bring yourself into an awakened state. There are certain processes that you can do to bring yourself into that state. And we're also going to talk about the larger picture of this, okay? Incarnation, the moment that we enter into the 0 point in which we begin to forget everything that we are and come in through the birth canal into the physical vessel, we completely forget everything that we are. And it's one of the most traumatizing experiences that the human has to experience, because then they have to go through the lifetime of remembering. And that's part of this experience. But we're going to talk about that. The more that you activate DNA, the more that you anchor presence into the body, the less and less you will forget things. And the less and less you as a soul will forget things as you move on to a next lifetime. Okay, there is a mechanical bio electrical process to this that is the cultivation of your life force. So to not forget, we cultivate our life force. Okay, to just tell you in a short little nugget there. Nothing ever disappears, the laws of transference, and this is essentially the next step of what I'm talking to you. What does it mean to cultivate your life force? Okay, and how does your life force navigate through different lives, through different phases of your life in this transmutation process? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about energy. And of course, we'll talk about cycles. Okay, this is one of the most important classes of this series will be the one about cycles, because we're going to talk about the spiral mechanics of the universe and also in our physical bodies and psychologically. Okay, so everything in this universe is moving in this spiral motion, and it is moving in that way in all dimensions, the physical and the non-physical. So there are certain ways to manage that information. And we're going to end with discussing oneness. Okay, what does it mean to embody oneness exactly? How do we embody that oneness? It's kind of become kind of like a catch term now, but the truth is that to embody oneness, there are certain parts of ourselves that we really need to dedicate some attention to. And so we're going to work on those. Okay, so this is the challenge that we're going to do. Every day we're going to have a video. I'm going to break it down in the challenge course description on my website. To access that, I haven't set it up now. We haven't launched it live yet, but I will be launching it live following this live presentation. And you'll be able to register on there to access that information. Okay, so essentially, let's come back over here. This is what we're going to be doing. Let's come over here to the chat. All right, anybody have any questions about that? Anything else that they would like me to add, or that you have a question about, that you are wondering about, that you'd like to learn about? Okay, excellent. So let's come over here into the chat. Hey everyone, and of course, beautiful Geraldine. Hello, Deborah. This info is perfect for what's been going on in my end and around me. Awesome. Cedric, so great to see you. Not able to get beyond the heart chakra. Okay, Yari, Maria, can you please elaborate on that for me? How can I help you there? Scott, so good to see you here. All right. for me, the main thing to transmute. Okay, so yeah, transmutation process. Yeah, we will discuss that. Okay. Here. Okay. Today I want to discuss a couple topics um, that have been channeled comments of this week, main themes of this week that have come up. And I'd like to take a look at each one of these topics, and we can kind of meditate on that and begin to observe that. Okay. In these laws of the universe, one of the things that we need to understand is that the most important language of the universe is that of vibrational frequency. The vibrational frequency essentially is the core language of the universe. It's what we are made out of. It is the form and the shape of letters. It's form and the shape of the things that we perceive through symbolism. And it is also the form and the shape of our energy, of our signature. Your physical body has a vibrational signature to it. And this vibrational signature is a combination of everything that you are. And it also speaks to what you need to transcend in order to become the next expression. So what we're going to talk about essentially is, how does one work with the body and the frequency in order to embody that highest vibrational intention. So right now, I would like you to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to tune into your crown chakra. We're going to start here. Okay, go ahead and visualize your crown, your 7th and 8th chakra, and I want you to notice what color is there. Okay, so as you identify the color that you find up there, this vibrational frequency is a key code to your internal work and to your ascension. And it's a key code because the color that you see here is a vibrational frequency that your body needs at this time in order to heal, to come into its highest expression. Okay, so how do we understand colors? How do we understand the meaning of these vibrational frequencies? Every single one of the colors has a vibrational frequency, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But there is a deep study between the study of color and frequency in order to understand what you need to heal. And I'm going to show you how to identify that today. Every single one of the colors of the light spectrum, remember that humans can only see a limited spectrum of light. And this limited spectrum of light is what we perceive on a daily basis through our everyday experiences. Give me just a moment to find that. Okay, so these lights, okay, this frequencies, every single one of these vibrational ranges of frequency, the way that the wave is moving creates a certain shape. And each one of the emotions is a scale that can be placed parallel to these vibrational frequencies and colors. From the lowest moving wavelength, which we perceive as the darker ranges of red colors. Okay, going into this infrared light, this 700 nanometers. Essentially, these low ranges of vibrational frequency are the emotions that are deeply connected with the physical plane. All of the lower vibrational frequency colors are connected with the physical plane. So if you begin to go up this scale, you are going to faster moving ranges of frequency. So here you see the wave slow. here you see the wave fast. And the faster that you're moving your vibrational frequency, the higher the emotional state that you're going to feel. What this means is that if the color that you're holding in your crown chakra is essentially a color that is a deeper, slower wavelength, this is what your body is requesting you that it needs in order to heal. And an example is like this. If the color that you find up in your crown is the color red, red, the representation of red, we can look at through the vibrational frequency of the chakra system, is all about safety. These hertz in the bodies that we have, all the ranges of where the chakras in the bodies are located are processing these ranges of vibrational frequency. So the root chakra processes emotions of safety, feeling safe in your body, feeling safe in a home, feeling safe incarnating in this life, feeling safe existing and living. It is the anchor cord into the physical vessel. So if your crown chakra is the color red, this physical vessel needs to provide additional support in rebalancing that root core chakra. It is also the chakra that is most out of balance in the body. Okay, so if the color that we see up there is red, then essentially what we need to do is support this person in feeling safe. It's all about safety. It's all about readdressing the complete acceptance of themselves in the physical embodiment. If you begin to reach higher bands of frequency, let's go back to our ranges of frequency here, the colors. The higher the range of frequency, the color spectrum begins to change, but it also begins to spiral as well. You will see the same colors, but in different octaves of frequency. This is why a lot of experiencers, when they begin to see these colors in other worlds or other dimensions, they describe those experiences as seeing colors that they cannot even describe. Okay, because they are seeing colors that the human eye isn't familiar with processing. What this means is that your body has entered into another dimensional plane in which you are interacting with frequencies that transcend this human physical body. So when you access into higher strands of frequency, the more DNA you activate, your crown chakra will change into these higher octave colors. At first, you can perceive them as white. They can be iridescent colors, a lot of iridescent colors, a lot of multiple colors mixed together. And those are higher octave frequencies. They all still continue to have information about what your body requires for healing. Okay, so as you learn how to close, shrink your first three chakras and move debris from the first three layers of your body, your frequency will change immediately. This is why when we do DNA reprogramming, we always start with one color and we always end with a different octave of color. And in certain occasions, when we maintain the same color, it means that the person still needs to heal really deep aspects of that color. So our goal is not to change the color. The goal is to heal deeply, integrating the parts of us that are out of balance. Okay, and these are both physical, bioelectrical, psychological aspects that we are targeting, we are working with. So this is a ground, it's basically 101, learning how to work with this information so that when you are in your meditation, you understand what you're seeing. The colors that you see in your meditation, sense, or hear are communicating to you what your physical body needs at that time. And it's important for you to understand the language of color. How you're going to understand it the easiest is by beginning to understand chakra layers of your body. Okay, I invite you all to download a chakra chart and to just understand the connections and the information that are processed through each one of the chakras. When you go into higher octaves of your chakra systems, from the 8th into the 13th dimensional layer, the colors that you're going to see are going to be very different. Okay, what we're talking about is creator states, states of creation. Okay, the color is telling you at what state you are creating. Okay, so here's the next layer of that. So again, let's use the example of red. If the body is emitting the color red as a primary color, chances are that we are having the root chakra enlarged, in which we are in a survival state. Okay, so remember, who you are is where our attention is mostly dedicated to, where our life force is dedicated to. So you become a survivor here in the lowest range of frequency, your entire body emits that color. The higher you go up the scale of creation, the higher your frequency changes, and the way that you see and perceive the world will change. It's also going to change the way that you manifest and attract things into your life, because who you are, is who you meet in this world, who you meet, who you interact with, what you experience. It's right here. This is a very important key for you to understand. And at first, you might feel like, oh, you know, I'm not sure that's true. But what we're talking about is not the surface level of information. We're talking about the subconscious mind of each individual you come into, the core intentions of that individual in their life, why they're there, the lessons and the experiences that manifest from the choices that we make. These are all processes that emerge from the subconscious mind. So your presence in your body, your awareness of your emotions and your intentions every moment of your day are number one key to understanding the kind of frequency that you're holding, and also what you're manifesting and attracting. Okay, so this is essentially what we want to understand. This is how you cultivate your body and your mind and your experience as an experiencer in this world. So this is essentially the key. And your body will tell you what it needs. If your body if you have a hard time connecting to your emotions, use the language of color, okay? And they are directly connected to emotions. How? Quick visual for those of you that might color theory, but I want you guys to either screenshot this or download this or find this chart. Many of you are already familiar, but right here, we are talking about the interconnectedness, the connections between color frequency, the different parts of our body that process those ranges of frequency, and the emotions that are deeply connected with these ranges of frequency. Okay. And in our challenge, I will provide you a deeper chart of that. Okay. But here is just an overview for you. Your throat chakra, for example, is about balance of the yin and the yang. Okay. This throat chakra is deeply connected with the sacral chakra. Okay, so some of you that have more than one color that come up in their crown, pay attention that there are multiple aspects, multiple facets of yourself that require additional healing and attention. So for some of my clients, they have blue and orange, okay, just as an example. And what that means is that their orange and their sacral and their throat chakra are out of balance. Okay, so how do we bring them into balance? The connection between the throat and the sacral, it's one organ. The sacral is the organ of creation, okay, of relationships, exchanges. It's the law of exchange. And the throat is about balance, the balance of your interaction with what you are exchanging. And in this case, that's the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. Because why? We are in the third dimensional plane. Again, we are learning the law of three. How do you create? The mother, the father unite in order to create the child. You are constantly creating every moment of your existence. How do we do that in a way that is balanced? Most of us, because of the programming that we receive from the womb into the age of 7, are imbalanced in the way that we perceive these dualistic expressions. Therefore, how we are manifesting is also imbalance. How we co-create, the things that we bring into our lives become out of balance. So in order to manifest in a state that is balanced and harmonious, we have to become familiar with what balance and harmony feels and look like. And that integration is what allows relationships to be productive, supportive, and co-creative. So this week, I invite you to observe your relationships, to begin to understand how are they imbalanced? How are these relationships imbalanced? How are your exchanges imbalanced with others? Do you contract your life force? Do you expand your life force? Are there manipulation tactics? Are there fear tactics? Are there attachment and identifications in these relationships? Okay, these dynamics tell you about your survival mechanisms with your own self. And more than likely, these are patterns that you're repeating for many lifetimes. And the invitation for you in the three-dimensional plane is to be able to transcend them. Okay, so this is what we want to work on in today's meditation. There is a profound connection between these relationship dynamics and how to create harmony and balance between them. Okay, so let me come over here into the chat for some quick questions. Isla says, can the color change after some time? Yeah, so the color will naturally change. The thing is that we want to make sure that the color that we're changing is changing to a high vibration as opposed to a lower one, okay? And in truth, in the greater order of things, because we are moving in the cycles of the universe, which are natural ascension, okay, everything is evolving, whether you like it or not, whether you agree to participate in the evolution consciously or not. The cells of your body are always moving and realigning with the frequencies of the universe. Now, if you are in resistance, this is why I say, when you are in resistance of your present moment or the things that are happening, you're in denial of your emotions, you are causing your organism to come out of harmony with the universe. You are already functioning in harmony. It is our mind and our sleepy, dormant state, our disconnect from the source, that creates disorder. So when you come out of the order, you now go into a lower vibrational frequency that essentially creates chaos in your body. If you surrender, if you allow, if you accept all that you are without resistance, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, then you naturally come back into the alignment with nature. That's why when people that go into nature, they become very healthy. They come back into alignment. Their bodies, energy bodies, begin to expand. And all of the deep, deep truths that they've been running away from come to the surface in order to be seen. It's required to see them. So the color will change automatically. If you are a seeker on the path of enlightenment or on the path of truth, your color will naturally change because you are seeking that, you are aligning. And I also want to mention that because the fractal design of this universe, in the same ways that our bodies have vibrational frequencies, the human race has a vibrational frequency. Okay. And that means that the universe, all the organisms, solar systems have a vibrational frequency. We are all experiencing. Color is the language of that experience. The vibrational frequency is telling you what is being experienced. This earth has the experience of co-creation. Okay. So how do you create and experience on the highest level, going from a state of separation into unity? The color that the earth has chosen is the color green. That's the color of the earth. That's the vibrational frequency. So all of the organisms on this earth are learning how to embody green. What is green? Green is unconditional love. Green is the highest manifestation, creation. It is nature. It is balance, harmony. It's all of those integrative, highest optimum functioning state of the human. Okay, so now what does this mean? Solar systems have colors. Okay, our solar system has a certain color, and universes have colors. And then this entire system is moving through colors. And let me see if I can give you a visual so you can understand what I'm trying to tell you here. Because as we move through these cycles, essentially, as we move through these cycles, this is why we have collective shifts. Okay, it's something I want you to understand that right now we're going through a very important shift collectively, which is why we talk about the veils thinning. More people are intuitive, more people are tuning into information, more people are seeing things, because the dimensions that we have access to open up every new octave that we enter into as a collective. Okay, so as we are moving through these collective shifts, right now, we are learning how to master 13-dimensional planes. And you may not be aware that you're doing this, but in your dream time, you're actively navigating 13-dimensional planes. Okay, so essentially, we want to understand our vibrational frequency is basically helping us with the cultivation of our life force in that navigation. And what's next? In these next, we just entered into a new phase universally. We are learning how to activate the 21 dimensional layers of our body. So those of you that are already working with 24 chakra systems on a daily basis, you're already channeling a lot of information that will help propel humanity forward. And again, the human vessel can be trained. It can be shifted into that frequency so that you can work on that. So essentially, every one of these spirals, if you can imagine this spiral in a rainbow, color of a rainbow, the lower, the tighter this dimensional layer, the more dense the energy, the heavier the frequency wave is going to be. The higher and the more expansive this cycle becomes, the higher the frequency will be. And then this continues infinitely in spirals as well. Okay, so we see this in our world history, how civilizations have reached peak levels of technology, intelligence, manifestation, and then there's always a shift in that. Okay, so we want to ride the shifts essentially in order to align, and it will definitely shift. Okay, so can aura photos guide on this process in processing one's color? No, and here's why. Because this exercise that I'm teaching you about right now is something that we have to be consciously aware of at every moment of our day. And even though we have a color for our day, we have a color for our week, we have a color for our month, we have a color for our year, and we have a color for our life. Okay, so what this means is that we are moving through these colors based on your choices. Based on the choices that you make, your vibrational frequency will shift. So your opportunities and timelines that become available to you are also changing constantly. So what I mean by that is that this level of awareness has to be done every moment of your day. Okay, check in. How are you? Your weeks will have certain colors. And here's another thing I want to mention. If in the week you haven't done any work to help support the shift of that color that you are in, you know, we can go into stagnation, and the law of accident does play a role there again, because you're going into dormant state. Remember that everything that is this repetitive pattern is something that is unconscious. We want to wake up consciousness. Okay? And so I want you to train your intuition to be able to read your body. And that connection that you cultivate, instead of utilizing an external technology to tell you the colors, we must cultivate this technology, because this is the one that is in tune with the changes of the universe. Okay, and that's what matters. We have to evolve at the highest level. Not just, it's too small. We're thinking too small. This picture will take a picture of your color in one instant. The next instant, this can shift based on your emotional work. Okay. I would love to stick around. I have a full day. Okay, John, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. All my love to you. Thank you for joining us. Ruda, does color black have any meaning? When I try to see any color, I usually see black. Only then do I not try to force it. Violet color shows up. Great job. So there in your question is your answer. However, there were a time in my life where the color was black, and I'll tell you about black. Black is a very interesting color. Black essentially is the black hole. Okay, black hole. Why is it called a black hole? It's a contractive energy. It is all that is hidden in the subconscious mind. It is the organism that requires rest, meditation, and reconnection. That's what black represents. And in some cases, black represents concealment. So essentially, we are concealing from ourselves or from others parts of us that we have learned are unsafe to be expressed. This is why in our society, if you notice that all of the industries that have to do with promotion of marketing and selling, cosmetics industries, fashion, black is a color that they use a lot, okay? And it's very interesting, the psychology behind that, because essentially when people wear black, there is a concealment of their emotions. They do not want those emotions seen. And that's something that is promoted by a lot of these, I guess, more consumer driven systems, is that if you train yourself to be disconnected from your emotions, you definitely become a consumer. It is the promotion of that, because the human begins to seek external instead of seeking within themselves. So, and there are phases that I studied in my own life in which I would only wear black. Black was the only color I wanted to wear. And when I reviewed that deeply at my psychology of the time, I understood, I myself was not even comfortable with my emotions. I didn't know my emotions. I didn't know myself at that time. So it can also be utilized for healing. And when that color comes up, it means that we need rest. We need meditation. We need reconnection. So I want you to pay attention to that when your body does show you black, that you listen to that, because there's a part of the body that requires that healing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into the chat here on the YouTube. See if I have any questions here in the chat on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Marija, Greg, Teresa, so great to see you. It sounds like an interesting program. We have a meditation session each time. Yes. So Teresa, yeah, we are having a meditation with the challenge. And essentially, the whole purpose is that we are integrating the processes of these meditation practices. Okay. Okay, when will the process of my color is always purple? That's great. Purple is intuition, but also there's opportunities there for shifting. There's opportunities for healing, and that means that purple means the cultivation and activation of the intuitive mind. Maria says, when will the process of embodiment 0 point be over? So there is no time frame for the embodiment of 0 point, because 0 point is becoming all and nothing simultaneously. Okay, so essentially we are learning how to become all and nothing in micro doses in our everyday lives. We are also learning how to do that in our entire life as we transition into death. Okay, and so the more that you cultivate 0 point throughout your entire life, when you exit the physical vessel into death, you will also experience a higher octave that is available to you, or you have the free will of choosing based on your vibrational frequency and what you have been able to integrate in this lifetime. If there are many things that you haven't integrated in this lifetime, you will enter into those patterns of cyclical reincarnation, where those experiences will be repeated over and over. So this embodiment of 0 point, something that we need to understand is that it's a way of life, it's a way of existing, and it is the most optimum state for the human organism to exist in. When you embody the 0 point, illness cannot exist. And if there is illness, those karmic side effects of the illness that hinder you from living your purpose or from doing what you need to do will no longer affect your ability to do them. Okay. And these are the laws that I will talk about this in the law of accident. I'll talk about long-term illnesses in the law of accident, because that's another layer of agreements that have to take place. Okay. And so essentially the 0 point is also the key to manifestation. If we don't embody the 0 point, it's very difficult for the human to manifest what they need. And the human in 0 point no longer has the desire and the attachments to the material. That's the thing, that we are lied to, or we lie to ourselves in thinking that when we incarnate into this physical realm, the whole purpose is to experience the physical. Okay, but actually it's to transcend the physical and to experience the non-physical while being in the physical body. Okay, so that means that we are aware of the things that we desire, that the ego needs in order to be fulfilled, in order to have purpose. The ego must learn that in order for its existence to coexist with co-creation, it needs to become nothing and fluid. So we have to help that ego in nourishing it with unconditional love from the source, as opposed to external love, romantic love, material love, physical love, whatever external thing feeds this illusion of fulfillment. Okay, so that is the unconditional love, that when you embody that, you now coexist with all things around you. You are in a symbiotic co-creation with the universe. And this is where suffering no longer exists. Suffering ceases to exist. So the embodiment of 0 point is the ceasing of suffering. Okay, so it sounds like a very good way to exist for the organism, right? And so mechanically, and of course, you can choose anything. You can choose to experience suffering. There's nothing wrong with that. But I am showing you the most optimum way for the human to exist, and it is in 0 point. Since experience 24 chakras first time on past Saturday, I had more lucid dreaming experiences, even while safely driving. Thank you, Geraldine. That's amazing. So I will also talk about the higher chakras, that when we activate them, we also come in to the ability to navigate lucidly higher dimensional layers. And it's very important that we do, because our lives, actually most of our activity is taking place out of body in dream state. Okay. Most of our interdimensional activity is happening all the time, all around you, but you're just too stuck in this physical life. So when you wake up, you have a multidimensional perception, and it's very important for your evolution. And especially when you die and leave the body, you can also lucid or consciously choose where you reincarnate or what you experience next. What if we have light things like when old type of TV is turned off and it forms in the dot kind of geometry? My darling Darina, can you restate that question for me again so I can understand it? Thank you so much. I'm not sure I understand that question. All right, guys. So let's go into our meditation. Let me come over here, just back into the Zoom, see if I missed any questions. Okay, so here it is. Okay. Okay, Maria says, I do not see a color. Okay, you'll see a color in today's meditation. Okay, so a little key on seeing colors. Some of you are very visual, so you'll be able to actually see the color. Some of you will hear a color, and some of you will think a color. Okay, so I want you to pay attention, because we have different abilities, different senses that are more developed than others. We utilize our different senses in order to see information. So I want you to, you're going to learn how you see information by understanding how you pick up this question, okay? So as you tune into your 7th and 8th chakra and tune into the color that is there, what's the first color that comes to mind? This essentially is the color that you have there. And I want you to trust what you see. How do you fine-tune your intuition? By shrinking your first 3 chakras. Every time you read, you go into reading state. Every time you're trying to tune into something intuitively, shrink your first 3 chakras. This will help you redirect your life force from the external into this intuitive state, okay? That's what happened to me. Yikes, I was mostly disconnected from conscious awareness last month due to illness in the hospital, and I couldn't figure out how in the world I created such a mess again. And finally, last night, I realized that I had been away from my spiritual practices for all that time, and those subconscious blocks, false belief patterns got a hold. When I got out of the hospital, I found out I was homeless again. I'm so sorry, my love. Also, oh, I'm wearing black today and totally needed to meditate. Okay, that's amazing. This is an excellent example, Eris, of the law of accident. This is exactly how it occurs in our lives in very large and small ways. So the more that we are present and always reconnecting with ourselves to the source, which is you are the vessel of source, you can come into this deep information and help yourself transcend. Okay, in this challenge, I'm also going to talk about how to move out of the law of accident. So for every part of this law of the universe, I will show you how to transcend its limitations, okay? The constant colors I see when I close my eyes are a combination of pink and purple surrounded by deep navy blue. What would these represent? Okay, so colors I see are a combination of pink and purple surrounded by deep navy blue. Okay, so when we have multiple colors in the crown chakra, this represents multi-layers that are coming to the surface to heal. Pink represents unconditional self-love. Okay, so we'll start with that. I'm going to use you as an example, Ida. I hope I said your name correctly. Excuse me if I haven't, but I will use this complex as an example, okay? So pink represents unconditional self-love. Purple represents intuition. If it's surrounded by deep navy purple, blue, we're talking about the throat chakra, okay? So by these colors, I can tune in to understand where you're at spiritually, physically, and emotionally. In order for open communication and expression in your life, it is required that there is an integration between self-love of yourself and your intuition. This is mostly the healing of the wounded feminine. Anytime that we resent surrender, we feel unsafe in surrender. We feel unsafe in trusting ourselves. We create a disconnect between the intuition and that expression. Okay, so anytime that as a child, our intuitive expressions were severed by a parent saying, you cannot talk, you cannot communicate right now, it's not the time, I don't want to hear you, I don't have time for you. It creates these feelings that we cannot trust what we are saying, what we're speaking, how we are expressing, okay? So how you heal it is right there in the colors. Unconditional love and purple, your intuition, your third eye, reconnecting and cultivating that intuitive dialogue. That is essentially what the body needs. And it's important for you, very important for you to heal your throat chakra, because it's now become a hinder, a blockage in your manifestation process. And chances are we have blockages with co-creation, manifesting abundance, securing a job that will, hold space for us in a way that will bring healing. Okay, so that is one way to look at it. And of course, every color that you have can tell you, as you intuitively work with yourself, with your colors. Remember that the colors I'm showing you on the chakra chart, I'm talking about vibrational frequency. But when you see your body, you will be able to understand the deeper layers of that. Okay. All right. Question: what happens with negative energy after death? So that's part of one of the laws that we're going to talk about today. Energy, the laws of physics is that energy does not disappear. Energy does not just eliminate. It transforms. Okay, energy transforms. Those are the laws of physics of this realm. What that means is that whatever this vibrational frequency is, negative, for example, okay, and this goes into a very deep topic, because at the time of death, if your emotions are sorrow, anger, resentment, fear of what's going to happen to you, okay, the way that your vortex is spinning does not allow for you to implode into that next octave of vibrational frequency. And this is a problem because this is how ghosts occur, okay? Because we become fractalized as we move through dimensions, the more parts of you that are attached to the physical realm, the heavier, that means the attachment is heavy ranges of frequency. You cannot take heavy frequencies. Death requires 0 point before it reaches higher octaves, okay? If you don't enter the 0 point to exit the realm, the dimensional realm, then most of you will be stuck here. So what happens is that your essence leaves because it's a vibrational frequency innately, your soul. But parts of you that are still attached through this vibrational frequency are clinging to this dimensional plane. And then this is how these ghosts happen, that parts of you, identified parts of you, become trapped in this dimensional realm. Also, when we have children, parts of us are also within our children, okay? So what happens is that we link to them, we communicate with them, we continue that energetic dialogue, okay? So this can be good and this can be bad. So essentially, when the human dies, they all enter into a 0 point. And I know this after working with hundreds of people in hypnotherapy, going through the process of many lives, that they die and they go on to their next life. What do we learn from this? That They experience all kind of suffering. The moment they detach from the body, it's like ultimate peace. Why? Because that's what we are innately. Okay, the emotions are only of this body. They are only tools for the navigation of the human experience. That's it. Emotions are not what you become, because they're not real. They're not something that exists as a longevity. Okay, so anything negative within your body, especially at the time of death, you want to transmute from your body into the highest frequency. And your subconscious processes are the key in this. Okay, so as you enter optimum death is when you are in a state of bliss, joy, and you begin to spin your vortex at a high rate for you to experience that implosion into a higher octave. That's how you can begin to choose free will at that time of death. But anything before that, you are deeply attached. And the problem with messy deaths, I call them messy deaths, is that you're entangled unconsciously in many dimensions. So of course, your vibrational frequency puts you back into the cycle to re-experience so that you can recollect the parts of you that have been left in so many lifetimes of fractalization. Okay, so it's very important to understand these mechanics because it really matters how we're navigating our lives into the next life. Are in-person hypnosis sessions available? No, I am not doing in-person sessions at this time. I have a very heavy travel schedule, but virtual sessions are amazing. And I highly suggest that you do that if you would like to work with me. Eris, LOL, yup, many accidents and I'm over it. Yes, I understand. All right. Can you please put your questions in capital letters so I don't miss them? All right. Allison, sending you so much love and support for everything you're going through. Much love to you, Allison. All right, babes, let's get into the meditation. Okay, I want you all to inhale deeply and exhale. I will answer more questions at the end. Okay, so first thing we're going to do in our meditation is we're going to identify the color, and then we're going to work on the transmutation of that color. Okay, let's go ahead and ground down to the center of the earth. The time is now 11:11, so it's perfect time to start. Okay. As you breathe deeply, go ahead and anchor yourself to the center of the earth. Allowing yourself to come fully into this body. Breathing deeply. With every breath you take, bringing yourself more and more into your body. Anchor yourself, bring yourself into the physical. As you connect with this beautiful body that perhaps is feeling abandoned, disconnected for whatever reason. Allow yourself to breathe down to the base of the spine. And I want you to bring your body into absolute stillness. We're going to go ahead and pull up a powerful wave of green life force from the center of the earth up into your body, creating a vortex of energy all around you. Go ahead and visualize that vortex of energy spinning around your body as it begins to pick up debris from the 13 dimensional layers of your body. Go ahead and take from source a powerful wave of golden energy that comes down to the crown of your head. You're going to combine that green and gold around your body. Breathing. Go ahead and take 10% of that energy and send it back down to the center of the earth. Go ahead and take 80% of that combination up your spine. Go ahead and allow yourself like a fountain coating the outside of your field. I want you to visualize gathering your energy from people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with you. Anyone that we've come in contact with, go ahead and neutralize your energy as you call it back into your body. Anyone that we have unconsciously exchanged with, bring it back into the body. As you begin to own your space. When you do this, you don't sever your connections. Everything is still there in the way that you would want to connect. You are just calling back your life force, all the unconscious depletions of your own life force back into your body. Go ahead and take that final 10% of green and gold. You're going to bring it into the body now. As you nourish the body, penetrating into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cellular level of your body. Go ahead and direct this green and gold energy into the parts of your body that require more love, more attention, more healing at this time. Go ahead and visualize shrinking your root chakra down to the size of a dime. Front and back. Go ahead and shrink down your sacral chakra down to the size of a dime. Breathing. Go ahead and visualize shrinking down the solar plexus back down to the size of a dime. Back into your heart. Go ahead and expand that heart chakra as wide as possible, opening the center of unconditional love and coherence. Go up into the throat to go ahead and visualize expanding that throat chakra, opening the center of balance, harmony, expression. Notice any parts of your body that tense up as you do these practices. Allow yourself to come into absolute neutrality. Breathing. Okay, going to go up into your third eye. Go ahead and expand your third eye, opening the center of intuition. Breathing deeply. Every breath you take, allowing yourself to feel more connected to your body. Now that you are in reading state, go ahead and go up into your seventh and your eighth. I want you to spend some time here observing what does your seventh and your eighth look like. What does it feel like? What do you sense? What do you know? Go ahead and see the color that first comes to mind. Again, you can hear it, you can sense it, you can know it, you can think it. Breathing deeply. Be mindful anytime your emotions start to come up, to bring yourself back into a state of neutrality. Okay, our purest intuition is in neutral state. So just be mindful of any time that you want to have any kind of emotions come into that space. Breathing. So now that you have your color, I want you to meditate on this color for a moment. I want you to see the color. And I want you to heighten your senses to observe the information that comes up. What is this color about? What is it communicating to us? Go ahead and allow yourself now to go into your 7th chakra. Allow yourself to see the 7th chakra. And you're going to notice that it kind of looks like a pie chart. Okay, as you begin to see the 7th chakra, each one of these little sections of the pie chart essentially represent different aspects of yourself. It is the fractalization mechanism. So it fractalizes infinite potential into the physical. And of course, our physical experience has many different categories, different potential experiences. I want you to visualize taking that color and you're going to enter it into all these areas of your life, starting with career, abundance, love, consciousness, health, abundance, money, creativity. This also represents sexual energy, creative life force, your most primordial energy, so that we can refine it into its highest functioning form. And finally, your purpose. What are you here to do? Go ahead and fill it into that. You'll feel yourself coming more into alignment as you do this. This is a very important practice to do every morning before you start your day. I want you to go up to your 8th now. This is your direct relationship with Creator, with Source, the 8th chakra. So it's everything that you're meant to do here. Go ahead and fill it in with your color. I want you to expand the 7th field of your body and the 8th field of your body. Breathing. I want you to get clear about the parts of you that are currently in states of suffering. I want you to identify them in your field. In the 13 main dimensional layers of your body. And as you see these, you're going to clear them out of your space. I want you to see yourself, your entire sphere, like a bubble around you. And on this beautiful bubble, you're going to begin to see all of the debris that is your suffering. Just observe it for a moment. any resistance that you're experiencing in your life, mind, body, and soul. You're going to see it as debris inside of this bubble, all around you. You are at the very center of the bubble. You are surrounded by the debris. The closer the debris to your body, the more you are actively embodying these thoughts. The further the debris from your body, the more deep in the subconscious mind they are, and the more powerful and more effect they have on your life. So just observe the debris around your body. We're going to go to the bottom, the very bottom of the sphere of this bubble, underneath your feet. You're going to visualize that you're going to remove a plug. Okay. And almost as if you're draining the water out of a bathtub, I want you to allow that debris to begin to be sucked down through that little opening that you created at the bottom of your bubble. And the best way to do this is to work in order. You can move clockwise around your body, clearing this out. Right now, you're not only clearing one field of your body, but you're clearing all chakra layers. All 13 layers are represented and observed inside of the sphere that you have created. So all the debris you see is from the 13 dimensional layers. Clear it out. Clearing out down to the center of the earth. Some things you might create a hole at the top of your sphere and send it out through the top. Trust yourself, trust your body. Go ahead and tune into the emotion that you're feeling in your body. Any emotion that comes up for you now, after you have cleared your space. If no emotion comes up, that's great. Continue clearing your sphere. If an emotion comes up, I want you to be absolutely present with that emotion, because it's something that is your experiential lesson for today. Go ahead and bring up that emotion in the body. Notice what part of your body contracts as you embody that emotion. Be absolutely present, and I want you to observe the emotion. Observe it. As you observe it, any kind of physical sensations will begin to deplete. Allow yourself to clear, neutralize. You can inhale deeply, calling back your life force. Releasing anything that no longer belongs. You'll notice that it's a lot easier to remove the debris from your field now. So as you move this debris out of the body, clearing it out, I want you to select a color that represents the most optimum day today, the most optimum week. What color comes up first? What color comes to mind? Go ahead and allow yourself to put that color inside of your sphere. You chose a color that is most healing, most nourishing for your soul, most productive, most compassionate, most abundant. I want you to visualize a room full of karmic contracts. Go ahead and tune into your room of karmic contracts. You're going to shine your crown light, because this crown light is basically the color of the lessons that you're learning through those contracts. So you're going to shine that light on top of all these contracts, dissolving them. As we are using our awareness, and we now know what our body needs to elevate its frequency. So we are letting go of any kind of contractual agreements of pain and suffering that exists and are stored within the law of accident for us, or they are agreements that we are no longer willing to support. Clear them out. Once you clear this room, fill it with your color. You're going to leave that room. I want you to go into the room next door. Just imagine walking down a hall into another door. You're going to open that door, and this door is filled with people that don't really have your best interest. These are karmic relationships, no longer in alignment. You're going to see it full of shadows in that room. Just go ahead and visualize dissolving as those shadows begin to evaporate, leave, dissolve. You're going to go up into your crown again. Now that you have cleared your space, very good. Go ahead and visualize now that you are beginning to work on your root chakra. I want you to spin that chakra as fast as possible as you open it back into a balanced state. The sacral chakra, go ahead and spin it as fast as possible as you open it back into a balanced state. The solar plexus. Go back into the heart now as it's expanded. The throat, the third eye. And let's go back up into the 7th and the 8th and just notice, has the color changed at all? Just observe. I always want you to add a little bit of gold to that color. Gold is one of the most healing neutral frequencies. So we are going to help our body heal by, in our creation state, we maintain the color gold. Okay. So allow yourself to activate. You're going to go up now higher into the 9th, activate the 9th. Activate the 10th. Activate the 11th. 12th. The 13th. 14th. 15th. Remember, you're expanding fields of your body. The 16th. The 17th. The 18th. The 19th. 20th. 21. 22. 23. And 24. And above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and connect up into that source light. Bring that source light down into your body as you anchor it through the center core of your heart. Like a pillar, like a really thick pillar of white light through your body. Down through your perineum into the center of the earth. Breathing. Breathing. I want you to see your vortex spinning. Okay, allow yourself to notice the Merkabite's geometry in your body. I want you to activate the solar plexus, the chakra between the solar plexus and the heart. Okay, go ahead and expand that chakra. Linking the non-physical with the physical, integrating. Go ahead and expand that body. Very good. Breathing deeply. You're going to visualize a pillar of white light through the center core of the body, out into the back of the body, around the perimeter of the earth, as you anchor yourself in the axis of the planet. And you're also going to see the source coming through the crown of your head, down through your body, down into the center of the earth. And there's an axis point at the center between that source axis and the earth axis. At that center connection, I want you to generate that light and expand that light around you. Expand your body. This is your light body. It communicates through the heart chakra, which is the largest electromagnetic field in the body. So as you allow yourself to come back now into the room, I want you to open your eyes. You guys did amazing. Welcome back. Beautiful, beautiful work, guys. All right, so I want to see, did anybody see their color changing? Anybody want to share what color they got? Put it in the chat or unmute yourself.
Yes, my color changed a little bit. It became a little whiter instead of blackish.
Fantastic.
It's like a cream violet.
Beautiful, beautiful. So add a little bit of gold to that, okay, to help yourself progressing there.
I'll try.
Beautiful work. Excellent work. So every time you sit down, this is daily meditation. You are actively working with this body like a stone that you are fine-tuning into a crystal. Okay, you are allowing yourself to see those shadows, work on them, heal them, and you transmute into this light body is what we're doing. Okay, you guys did amazing. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was an honor to be here. Let me come into the chat here. Orange is gold, white, indigo, and fluorescent green. Wow, I love it. Oh, I like the pure plasma, white light, and blue gold hues. Beautiful. Can you talk about twin flame? Yeah, twin flame is an interesting topic. I will talk about that at another time, not this time. Simply because the way that I see the construct of how souls come together are not so finite in that we have one union. And I will explain that when I talk about the twin flame. But yes, thank you for that question, Anwar, the man. I will put more about that soon. Deborah Simpson, great to see you here. Anita Razul, so wonderful to see you here. Let's see here. My right eye got infected when I got injured left leg, then got stomach flu, and finally hurt headache, forehead on window, all in 5 days. What would be the message? Is this also the law of accident? Mariha, yes, my love, I'm so sorry you're going through such a difficult time right now. Really important. One thing that I didn't go too much into this time was the different parts of your body have a lot of information about where you're blocking specific information, okay? So the right eye, for example, the masculine, what are you seeing? Are you allowing yourself to see truth and accepting that truth? Your left leg, so the left side is the feminine, okay? How are you moving in the world? There's actually a really profound connection between those two, because it's about the trust in yourself, in the ability to trust the information that's coming, non-physical, and then taking action into that, moving forward in the directions that are being brought to you. Are you listening to the direction that's being presented to you? So that's something that I would really take a look at, okay? Deep green, some ways to heal the throat chakra. Thank you. Michaela asked about the throat chakra. So as I mentioned, the throat chakra is about the integration of harmony and balance. So we want to look at where are our programs in the imbalanced perception of these dualities. Is it a wounded feminine? Is it a wounded masculine? Who are we playing out? That's where we would know, how to heal them essentially. And if you find them out, then you can correct them and it will rebalance the throat. And remember, as I mentioned, the throat and the sacral chakra are deeply connected. So how is our relationship with sexual energy, with intimacy, that's very, very affected by these imbalanced dualities? How is it about our exchange? How do we give energy? How do we receive energy? And the emotions that come up. Okay, so those are some ways that I would heal the throat chakra. Precious Jewel, I felt some vibration in my upper body color that was deep purple. I will be going to sleep tonight at night, so I'm not expecting I'll have awesome lucid dreaming. I'm expecting. Yes, that's awesome. Question, I would like to try this again. How often can I meditate to this? My invitation is every day. Please make this invitation, utilize this tool every single day, because this is the key to manifestation. Okay, if you understand the crown chakra, you understand how to manifest. And I did today's class because it's a precursor to the things that we're going to talk about in the challenge. Okay, all right, my loves, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys tomorrow actually for our challenge. All right, oh my love, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.